Friday night's action in the BoyleSports Irish Greyhound Derby provided some fantastic performances, but it really ranked up a notch on Saturday night. We saw the concluding 13 heats of the opening round of the BoyleSports Derby. Kevin, a great night's racing, and it all kicked off in tremendous fashion by Wolf. This fellow really did show his teeth here tonight. Went to the front early and emerged a very, very easy winner in 29.22. A sensational run by an exceptionally fast greyhound.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. He done everything right tonight. I was talking to Graham in the far side after he came in, and he said it. He's not the most fluent trapper. That's not his game. But when he hits the ground, it's a million miles an hour with him. He's exceptional to the corner once he hits the ground, and he's going to be one that not many people will want to see drawn next to him. His trapping is a slight issue, but it wouldn't be a major one for me. He starts, he flies down the back and he stays, and 29.22 tonight just summed it up. Fastest to the opening round. He was in all the headlines previews building up to today, and he did not disappoint. He's going to be a major factor in this derby.
Rising Brandy finished second. He's probably not going to be ever again the dog he was at one stage, but he's through. Good for them, but we'll move on because we have a lot to cover. Heat 15. And this was the bitch again, Kilmacdonough. She just continues to roll. This one, she knows exactly what the game is about. She flashed some traps, bet every inch of the running. The other dog, New In Leicester, really ran well in second spot, closed her to the third bend, but when she got to that point, she was always going to be too strong. She pulled right away to win. There's no stopping this lady at present.
Definitely not. We were lucky enough to win the English Derby this year, but we went to Dundalk and she had her number there. We had to settle for second best there, and there's plenty of people finishing second to her at the moment. She obviously broke the clock down in Cork. She went to Dundalk, as I said, and she won the international, and she came here tonight, and when she trapped, you knew there was going to be a big run. New In Leicester to the third corner matched her, or once he got into stride, he matched her pretty much, but she just powered up again up the home straight. She's so strong. She's got it everywhere. She really has. Herself and Ballymacarminta, two bitches like that don't often come along like at the same time, but she's in there and talking to a number of people tonight. They've got anti-post dockets on her at the moment, and I'd be like to be one of them.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having a few quid on myself at a nice price. New In Leicester could yet play a part in a few of these rounds. Dog with a lot of pace. He can trap a bit better than he did tonight.
Yeah, and definitely he didn't dictate, and he busted a gut to get to her at the third bend. Probably just got tired up the home run because she probably broke his heart. But like you said, he's got plenty of early. He just ran into one too good tonight. But yeah, he'll be a big player going forward.
ANTON was amongst Ireland's fastest young trackers last year. He looked a real prospect. I spoke to Liam about a month ago. He said he just couldn't quite get him right this year. Just couldn't get to the bottom of the dog. He didn't know what. He'd gone through him so many times, couldn't find injuries, but he has got back to where he was at this stage. He was very impressive last weekend in a 5.25. Tonight over the 5.50, which will always suit him down to the ground. 29.37. It was a hell of a run. He showed enough early speed to challenge the Budgie Smuggler, who can go to a corner and then powered home. An impressive display from a dog that, if he continues to do what he's doing, he won't be far away come the end of September or mid-September.
Yeah, look, I thought he was a Derby winner last year. I thought he was as good a pup as there was in the country, really, to be fair. I thought he'd win the Puppy Derby last year after coming out here. He's exceptional. He's got everything. The one thing is with him, you want him drawn inside. You want him drawn close to the rails. If you keep giving him one or two, he's going to be massive danger. Like that, the Budgie Smuggler, little racing done, but he's a dog with fantastic early pace. Probably tried to come out a bit too hard, slightly lost his footing, but Anton just powered past him and cut him off at the bend, and he was away at that stage. But from where he is now to from where he was 2-3 months ago, even over at English Derby, he's a different animal. He's a different beast altogether, and I can only see him going in one direction. And he's definitely one that's come in under the radar. Many people would have wrote him off, but he's, like you said, the last 2 weeks he's really grabbed the attention again, and if he keeps on doing it and keeps coming forward, he's in shrewd hands as well. Yeah,
we have to give a mention there. Two-Maker Daddy ran on well for second spot. Fáinne Kiri didn't get to the front, actually ran reasonably well to qualify because he is a short runner. When he didn't lead, he probably should have crashed out. Budgie went through as one of the fastest forts, more importantly.
Yeah, well, I was delighted with that. Yeah, we got two through, I think, as fastest fourth, so we were lucky enough there. But yeah, Fáinne Kiri game is from the front. There was 3 good starters in that there. The Budgie Smuggler, Ballymac Anton and Fáinne Curie. Only one of them can lead, and that one was always going to be able to dictate. The other 2 would have just took qualifying after that.
Heat 17, and this was one filled with strong running trackers. Drubby's Neymar took a walk in the market, looked like being favoured early in the week, and was a big price in the night. Manuka Man was the one that came in for money, and it was inspired. Flashed out, made every inch of the running. Vaguely Noble ran up the back of him at the third bend. Probably should have stayed out wider, but as it was, Manuka Man went on to win from BoyleSports King, who was a fraction unlucky for John Boyle. Got held up at the third bend, sort of lost his position a bit at the first corner too, but ran well in defeat. But Manuka Man did it well for money.
Yeah, very much so. Like, on paper it looked like one was going to lead, but when Trap 2 popped out, Manuka Man, when he leads, he's very strong running sort, and he was always going to take some beating. Vaguely Noble into the third bend was unlucky, and just ran into the back of Manuka Man when looking like he was making a challenge to take it up, and as a result that trouble ran into BoyleSports King, and he took a bump as well. But tonight was the first night I've seen him going well to the corner. I know there might not have been blistering early in the race, but he definitely went to the bend better tonight than I've seen him in the past. And look, it'd be great if he could stay in and do a couple of rounds for John, but from halfway he's as quick as anything in the Derby for me.
Yeah, no doubt about that. On now to Heat 18, and here Liam Dowling completed his double. Many would have expected it to be Ballymac Taz, but she had a tricky enough draw out in Trap 4, and it was Ballymac Trinkle. She's professional. I remember in the second round last year she was 5 clear, and she was picked up in the line by Panther. No such problems for her tonight. She went clear to the opening corner, showed really impressive early speed, and was always galloping clear out front. Mucky Bray was second all the way. He was never going to pick her up. A good win, Ballymac Trinkle.
Yeah, very much so. She done everything right, showed lovely early pace. Mucky Bray just missed the kick. He's a dog I was really looking forward to seeing in the run tonight. I think he could be a bit of a dark horse. Well, he's not much of a dark horse. He's done 28 seconds up here recently, but you know what I mean. I think he's an exciting sort, but Trinkle just popped out and made all. She's so consistent. She's won nearly 25% of her races. She's just, you could set your clock to her. She's very, very good. Taz just never got into it, just never got running really from a middle draw. But Mucky Bray, don't rule him out just yet. I like him. I think he's a nice pup going the right direction, and I'd expect to see bigger things from him as the Derby goes on. And
of course John Durgan has won through Drumrich and Tares, and he later got another one through Drumrich Altair. So John going well.
Yeah, and I'm not joking. The boys celebrated like they'd won the Derby, the far side. The reason I know him is we actually bred him. He's obviously a son of JT Hellcat, so they came down at the time, but the roars from the far side, they were very happy campers going home.
Some crack if we got to a quarter final or something like that. Heat 19, and here this was all about Lenson Bocco. This dog is just going from strength to strength. He wasn't the first, he wasn't fastest to hit the ground. That was Pudgy Budgie, but Lenson Bocco just left him standing, and he's got a great, he's a profile of a dog that could potentially be a Derby winner.
Oh, he looks it, doesn't he? Yeah, he's doing everything right. He burst onto the scene in Tralee with some sensational clocks below for Curly Mick, and he's just seen, since he's moved over to Graham, he hasn't put a foot paw wrong. He's just brilliant everywhere. He starts, he stays, he's got it down the back. I'm interested to see how the wide seat progresses on him. I think he does slightly move across. We'll see how that goes. Ballyhimmock and Jet, that's a serious greyhound too. He's got boot as well. I was mighty impressed with him. I don't know what he done at the boxes. He just sort of twisted in the traps, but he's got plenty of gears. He's a very, very fast dog. I was delighted to see Budgie going through. He's ever consistent, ever green. He's going on in the years now, but yeah, he popped out, but he wouldn't have blister and early old Pudgy. So just glad to see him qualifying.
With Pudgy Budgie, he's not exactly named to be flying into the corner, I suppose. Heat 20, and this saw the return of Magical BALE to Shelbourne Park, winning in style. I would imagine the Pat Guilfoyle was more than happy with this. A dog that, well, we all know he doesn't like Trap 1, but he popped out of 1 tonight, made every inch of the running, and is what they call a very, very satisfactory display.
Yeah, ever so professional, isn't he? Look, he's been in 2 Derby finals, I think now. He ran up this last year. Obviously he was in the final of the English Derby this year. The trap draw didn't go according to plan for connections, as we know, on the night that night. But look, he's just so good, isn't he? You know what he's going to give you every night, and he's going to be thereabouts again this year. I know he's got a very, very tricky draw in the second round. That'll be a mighty good race, but don't rule him out. I was very impressed with Pat's other greyhound, Log Hill Josh, into the third bend. I thought this lad had a chance to pick him up. The way he was running, I thought maybe BALE probably needed a run. He looked like that. The clock suggested that as well. I think he'll dip well below 29.60 next time out. But Log Hill Josh really, really ran on very strong. And Cash is King, a dog who burst onto the scene last year and ran really well below in Limerick in the Con Kirby. Good to see him back in running in some way near his best form again.
Yeah, Law Hill Joshua. A dog I think Pat Guilfoyle has a lot of time for. He had a problem early in his career, got over it, and in recent times showing a lot of pace. He is mad for the fence, however. He wants to be close to that rail. That's the key with him. On so to Heat 21, and this was, well, it's supposed to be the Graham Holland affair with Linson Blinder and Blue East seen as the best of the draw. For me, this was the dog I could have taken out of tonight. I was absolutely... I was enamoured by this fellow to the third bend. He absolutely rocketed to that bend, Grangeview 10. I know Pat Guilfoyle also thinks an awful lot of this fellow, of course, the Produce Stakes winner. He showed devastating early speed. To put this one, put this one beyond doubt, we thought Linton Blinder flew home. He ran a blinder in defeat, but Grangeview 10, very, very taking this play.
Yeah, well, look, you flagged up, in fairness to you, a Pat Guilfoyle early pace runner here last year in Cabra Hurricane. This lad looked like him. He might be a different colour. This lad's fawn, all right, but he absolutely flew to the third bend. It had to be the best sectional of the Derby so far. I'm presuming to the third corner. I'd say it'll struggle to be better as in the Derby going on. And the scary thing is, I don't think he trapped. I think he can trap an awful lot better. He didn't hit the ground in front. I think Cabra Firmino was probably just in front of him, and he absolutely left him for dirt. And bearing in mind, Cabra Firmino is 336, 337 and a 197 done up here. This lad ragged him to the bend. It was scary watching it in real time. Linson Blinder ran a blinder. Ran very wide off the last bend. Wasn't even in the camera shot, I think, passing nearly the 550 boxes, and then he just flew up on the line. Connection would be delighted with him with that performance, but yeah, you'd be hard not to be impressed with Grangeview 10. Like I said, Pat had Cabra Hurricane last year. This lad could follow in his footsteps. Yeah,
that contest, Heat 21, there was 4 dogs got through. Of course, the fastest fourth there was Blue East, and it'd be no surprise if any of those 4 greyhounds got to a quarter-final, semi-final. 4 talented greyhounds. That could be a heat to keep an eye on in the future rounds. On to Heat 22, and in this race, Monbeg Bakayoko, it was away and gone, and Uline Darn Hot looked like turning around clear second, but drifted off the corner, caused his own problems. Lolo's Bear slipped down second, stayed on well. I thought he was going to pick up the winner into the third bend, but Monbeg Bakayoko, a good run, 29.92. I don't think Eamon Doyle will be expecting to win a derby with this fellow, but he'll be delighted with his night's work.
Yeah, very much so. Got the night to go home with a trophy over beyond that we supplied for all the grounds to win the first round, so they'll be over the moon with that, and they're in the draw for the next round. Like you said, New Line Darn Hot just moving off the bend for Robert caused his own problems, and 3 was away and gone. Lola's Bear ran a cracker to qualify in second, and John Lenihan, which John Lenihan is at this time, Droopy's legend, qualifying in third. I'll let you clear that one up.
No problem. Johnny Linehan, that is, as opposed to Johnny Lenihan. We'll move on. Heat 23, and this one was won in fine style by Jennifer O'Donnell. Of course, she has rich Derby heritage in her blood. Her father Matt won the Derby on 3-4 occasions. Some brilliant performers she would have held on the end of a lead back in the day, but she's producing a few nice ones herself at the moment. And Scooby Doo It, well, he did it very well indeed. There was nothing shaggy or scrappy about this one. Scooby Doo It made every inch of the running, and a likeable display.
Yeah, look, everyone in this, I think, thought they had a chance. It wasn't one of the strongest heats, but I was quite like the time and the way he did it. He popped out. We JT spurred in 5. She's got good early pace, but 4 just outpaced her to the corner, and once in front, the likes of JT spurred in behind her. She was never really going to close or catch him. She did manage to hang on for third, just caught on the line by Court of Justice for Pat Kiley. He's a renowned stayer, but yeah, 4, once he led the way he ran, it was very impressive. One that I'm sure will be fancy prices, but 29.69, it's not to be sniffed at.
Am I safe in saying that as with Friday night, the track perhaps got a fraction slower as the evening went on?
Oh, you'd have to think so. I was here even for trials. It looked top of the ground. The sun was out. It looked in prime condition early on tonight. So it got very, very cold here around the 8th race. So obviously the times would just go back slightly.
Okay, moving on. MONROE Mike was a big price in the 11th race, one for the bookmakers. I think he was returned 10-1, maybe even bigger, but there was nothing lucky about it. He flashed out of trap 3, notably dived inwards. I wouldn't like to be on his inside the next night, but made every inch of the running at 29.94. Hoth Head is a dog with lots of early speed, a local runner here. He ran well to challenge him down the back, but once he didn't get to the front by the third bend, that was that. And MONROE Mike running out a good winner, and Wine Tavern Don staying on well for second spot. Again, no Derby winners in this race, but MONROE Mike running well for James Kerr.
Yeah, you have to be careful where this lad is drawn. Like you said, he's £82. and his first stride is left. He dived in across, mad for the rails, good size, but he dominated this race. Like you said, Hoth Head, it was brilliant to see him qualifying. I wanted Hoth Head to nearly win this race, to get his trophy. The far side, he's been such a stalwart for Liam O'Rourke and connections, and he never runs a bad race, and he tried his heart out again tonight. So great to see him into the draw. Wine Tavern Don, a young dog who's got some flashy runs on his card. We need to see a bit more consistency from him. Well, I know he's only having his 13th race tonight, but when he does things right, he's very good. He needs to keep trapping. I suppose with 3 coming in on top of him early, didn't really get a chance to show that, but more to come from him. He's probably the one that I'd keep an eye on of these qualifiers for the next night.
No doubt. On to Heat 25, and here Fast Fit Act. Jerry Holian had been denied in the very last stride last night, but Jamira Buddy caught by Red Artford. Jerry always is a winner in the first round of the Derby, doesn't he? He'd had a non-runner in Lemon Shane, so luck wasn't on his side, but Fast Fit Act ran well, showed good early speed, more early speed than I thought he had to lead the Tipperary Cup winner Ghost Dancer to the corner, and once doing so, he always had the inside line on Drumrich Altair, who ran a big race again for John Durgan. I'm sure they did some celebrating with this fellow, but Fast Fit Act, a good winner. He is a strong runner, and once he led that third bend, he stayed on well to win in 29.81.
Yeah, the two brothers qualifying, Drumrich Altair this time. I wasn't over there. I can't tell you how big the celebrations were this time, but going by the first one, I'm sure they were pretty good. Yeah, Fast Fit Act got across Ghost Dancer. I thought Ghost Dancer would lead up here, but he just didn't seem to get away quickly enough. And Fast Fit Act, once getting across, once he was in front, the race was sort of over. Tiger Reef ran on very, very well to qualify as well, but 29.81, hard to see a Derby winner in this race, but Jerry Holian, a shrewd man and a nice winner.
A man that gets a big kick out of his greyhounds winning is Pat Norton. He's bought some nice dogs in recent times. He's had a good run in the Derby in the past, of course. And JIRANO Classic didn't lead into the bend. That went to Newhall Missile. He led the bend, last year's Consolation Derby winner. But JIRANO Classic ran brave, ran strong, and ran determined at that opening corner. Forced his way to the front, and he's a dog that'll get 575, 600 yards. He ran on strongly to win well, and 5 Newhall Missile clung on for second spot. And another of that litter, the Razzle Dazzle Prue litter, Razzle Dazzle Peaky, finishing well. He's a dog that'll stay further in time, finishing third. But JIRANO Classic, the dog to take out of this one.
Yeah, definitely. I'm pretty sure there was 3 brothers. The Pennies litter that ran in that unrace taken in Escarty. We ended up at 1 JT General, and they do stay. General's won over 750. He's an out and out 750 yard dog. This lad's definitely got the best early pace of all of that litter, and he's got the stamina as well to boot. He's a real nice type. He's going the right way. Like you said, Newhall Missile brought it here to Manny and I last year, winning the consolation at final, and I thought he was going to do it again. He hadn't really found that form, but tonight was much more like it, much more like the dog we knew last year. He flew out, didn't just at the last stride, didn't get across to cut off JIRANO Classic, and once JIRANO Classic got up his inside, he was always going to be too strong for Newhall Missile, but Newhall Missile stuck to the task as well as he could. Razzle Dazzle Peaky, a brother obviously a BoyleSports king, we know what their game is, it's stamina, and ran on to qualify. Will probably need a bit of luck and running as the rounds progress, but 29.88, a really nice win for JIRANO Classic. I'm sure if that was earlier on, he would have done a bit quicker too.
Indeed, and that's it. 26 heats in total. We're down to 96 greyhounds. 96 will become 48 next weekend here at Shelbourne Park. It'll be 8 races Friday, 8 heats on Saturday night. Why can't you can't afford to miss it? Get back here to Shelbourne Park for more top class action in the BoyleSports Irish Greyhound Derby.